Welcome to the video. This is MTG Anonymous. If you'd be kind enough to like, subscribe, and comment to keep this channel going, that would be amazing. But let's get into the video. Alright, this is a jank build for mid-silver elo. So someone played this against me and it really upset me, and so I decided to recreate it. Today we're going over Izzet Land Destruction. Yep, that's right, Izzet Land Destruction. So let's go ahead and look at the CMC. Average CMC is 2.7. We get to lower that through a couple means in this deck. 12 creatures, 7 instants, 14 sorceries, 1 artifact, 2 enchantment, 24 lands. Let's go ahead and get into this one, and then we'll discuss what's up with it at the end. First, we have the Spectral Sailor. For 1 blue, you get a 1/1 Spirit Pirate with Flying and Flash. And then for 3 and a blue, you get to draw a card. Flash says you may cast a spell with Flash anytime you can cast an instant. Flying says a creature with Flying can't be blocked except by creatures with Flying or Reach. So this is just to draw cards, actually. Since we can get it out early, and then we should be able to slowly get into our lands, and then if we don't have anything to do, then we'll just draw cards. Next is 4 copies of Opt. For 1 blue, you get an instant that says scry 1, draw a card. Again, we just need to draw cards. This doesn't give us advantage, however, but we just need to get into our land destruction cards. Next, we'll go over the 2-drops. Sky Theater Strix. For 1 and a blue, you get a 1/2 bird with Flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Sky Theater Strix gets +1/+0 until end of turn. There are quite a few non-creature spells, so this is perfect for this deck. As we're destroying lands, those are non-creatures, and then we get to swing in with the Sky Theater Strix. So, Goblin Electromancer. This makes the deck work early. Goblin Electromancer for a blue and a red. You get a 2/2 Goblin Wizard. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So basically, our Radical Ideas now only cost 1 blue, or Befuddle only cost 1 in a blue, or Demolish only costs 2 in a red. Rebel Reading only costs 2 in a red, stuff like that. So basically we just have that in here so we can get our first Demolish proc off, and then we should be able to get into our 4th land immediately after, and then we won't have any problem with it again. Next is Radical Idea. For 1 any blue, instant, draw a card, Jumpstart, and then Jumpstart says you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost, then exile this card. And so what we're going to do is we're going to wait until after we have a Goblin Electromancer. We're going to play the Radical Idea, we're going to draw a card, and then when we need to jumpstart, we're going to jumpstart one of our lands if we get to a point where we have too many lands in our hand. And then that will trigger our next card, Firemind's Research. For a red and a blue, you get an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Firemind's Research, and then for 1 and a blue, remove 2 charge counters from Firemind's Research, draw a card, or for 1 and a red, remove 5 charge counters from Firemind's Research. It deals 5 damage to any target. So, preferably what we want to do is use the remove the 5 charge counters, deal the 5 damage to our opponent, since a lot of decks lately have life gain, so we really need to be able to deal with that or with larger creatures, because there's no way to kill them. But this deck's pretty quick, so we really don't. Our opponent isn't going to have a chance to get giant creatures out. As soon as turn 3 hits, we should be destroying lands, and then unless they're really lucky with land drops, they'll really have to go. 1 in 5 cards in this deck is going to destroy land, or get us a card back, or draw us a card. Yeah, or draw us a card, or we can also get the cards out of our graveyard. So, next is Spellkeeper Weird. For 2 and a blue, you get a 1/4 Creature Weird. For 2 and tap, sacrifice Spellkeeper Weird. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So, this card actually works really good in Dimir too. So, but regardless, what we're going to do is, if we get to a point where we're not drawing land destruction and our opponent plays a land, then we're immediately going to crack this. so that way we can grab one of those instants, or one of those sorceries that destroys land, so that way we'll be able to keep them off of big stuff. Befuddle's next for 2 and a blue. Befuddle, it's an instant. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Again, this is just in here for the draw spell, but what ends up happening usually is our opponent gets something that's bigger than the Goblin Electromancer. They try swinging every turn. We hold back from destroying their land for 1 turn, play this, and then get to destroy their creature. No one ever really sees it coming. Eyes Everywhere for 2 and a blue. Enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1 for 5 and a blue. Exchange control of Eyes Everywhere and a target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only any time you could cast a sorcery. So, the only time we will ever do this is if they have a really big creature that we can't remove. Yeah, we'll give them a scry every turn, but it's better than them killing us before we can destroy all their lands. And then we can use that creature to attack them back with. Next is Midnight Clock for 2 and a blue. Tap, add blue, and then for 2 and a blue, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. At the beginning of each upkeep, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. When the 12th hour counter is put on Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards, exile Midnight Clock. So, why do I have this card, you're wondering? Well, it's really good for this deck because there's a lot of turns where your opponent can't do anything, and so instead of wasting your turn or drawing a card, you can just put the hour counter on Midnight Clock. Usually this comes out, every time I've played it so far, it's come out turn 6. So we can put 2 midnight counters, and then their turn, our turn, so that's 4. You put 2 more, that's 6. Their turn, our turn, that's 8. So this goes really quickly, especially with removing lands. I really like this card in this deck, and if I had more of them, I would replace the Eyes Everywhere with another one, because being able to shuffle in our graveyard and draw 7 cards, there's no way we're not drawing into a Demolish effect. Next is Bond of Insight for 3 and a blue. Each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Return up to 2 instants and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Bond of Insight. Again, we want to play this once we have 2 Demolishes already in our graveyard, or 2 Rebel Reading, or 2 Tectonic Rifts. So that way we can grab them back and then use them again the following turn. Usually when people see this card, they scoop, and it's happened the last 4 games, but regardless, get 1 Goblin Electromancer out, and then boom, now you can do that. And then also, this also goes well with the Spellkeeper Weird, since once those 4 cards go in, if there's more than 1 Demolish that goes in, if we've already had 2, you can use the Spellkeeper Weird to grab it back out. So next, Demolish, we have 4, just from different sets. For 3 and a red, destroy target artifact or land. Self-explanatory. If an artifact's in the way that we can't deal with, then we're going to destroy it. But first, we want to take care of lands. Anything that can produce mana is what we want to destroy. Next is Demolish. Already did that. Rebel Reading. For 3 and a red, destroy target land. Scry 2. This is the one we want, seeing as we can go 2, and then hopefully we find another one, and then we just keep rolling into them as we go. Tectonic Rift for 3 and a red, destroy target land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. This is good, for the Spellkeeper Weird, because we are able to swing in with it if that happened. We don't want to, but we're able to swing into with it and do a little bit of extra damage. Really, Spellkeeper Weird is also basically a defender, since it's a 1/4. Unless you got like that black dinosaur, that black dinosaur 3-drop, that's huge and scary. Most things aren't bigger than 1/4 that's on the ground that early before 3. So that makes it so that we can swing in if that's the case, if we want to, but doubt it. Next are the lands. 11 Island, 8 Mountain, 4 Izzet Guildgate, and then 1 Steam Vents. Upgrades to this deck. There are plenty of upgrades to this deck, honestly, but getting more Steam Vents will definitely help. It's a little difficult to get into the colors. If you don't have both colors on your first draw, then you need to get rid of it. It doesn't work. Also, Opt is really good, but preferably we would want something that we can draw more cards with, but you're not going to get anything else for more than just the one. If you're feeling really good about it, you can throw in a Drown Secrets whenever you cast a blue spell. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard. Make it harder for them to even get lands, since a majority of this deck is blue in some way. Only 12 cards don't have blue in them. So, let's see, anything... I can't think of anything else, so if you think of anything that would make this deck better, feel free to comment below. Yeah, I think that's it for today. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Also, we had 900 views on the channel, so this is month 5. So that's actually made me pretty happy. Well, anyway, have a good one. Later.